All right, I think just 4 minutes over, so probably good to start. Abhinav, can you confirm if you can see my desktop?
Yes, I can.
Awesome, great. Thanks once again. Full of energy. Thanks everyone for joining us in this live now session today. In today's session, we'll learn how we can better utilize Success Dashboard. With this, move on to slide. A quick reminder on safe harbor notice. So in case if we're using any forward-looking statement, then it should not impact your buying decisions in future. With this, quick housekeeping rules. So this is a first virtual session. So we're going to record this session, and recordings can be available once we complete the session. You will have recordings as well as slides for you to refer in future. In case if you want to ask question, you can utilize the Q&A section, or you can utilize the chat button, type your question there, and one of us will pick the question, answer your question. After the session, you will receive a short survey. Please fill in the surveys and give us a feedback so that we can improve in our sessions in future. With this, if you want to join us in similar sessions in future, you can scan this QR code, you can join us, you can sign up there. Otherwise, I can also paste the link here. You can go to this link, you can sign up for future sessions. So quick introduction. Right side, you can see my face, Jitu Singh Chauhan, based out of ServiceNow office in Bangalore. I'm part of product success management group here. Just completed 1 year recently. So that's about me. I do have Abhinav with me, who is going to help us to understand the session today. Abhinav, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Jitu. So, hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Abhinav and I'm part of ITSM and I'm a product manager for Success Dashboard and Benchmarks. And today we are going to deep dive into the Success Dashboard, which is our title for today. Nice to have you all here and hope you have an interactive session and we learn together.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Abhinav. So with this, I would like to know your feedback. So I'm gonna initiate poll, and do let us know your responses. This is something about knowing your roles and how familiar you are with the Success Dashboard. So I hope you can see the poll now. Please respond the poll, your desktop. We'll just give few seconds so that they can respond over the poll.
And this will probably help us in understanding what should be the detail that we should go in during our demo as well as the content of the session today. So we'd love to hear from you all.
So almost 50% participants already responded. Very good. 60% now. Just give 5 more seconds. So I'm gonna end poll now and share the results. Seems like we have majority of them are the product manager or folks from business, and then ServiceNow developers are there as well. Oh, we have quite a good audience not familiar about Success Dashboard. So I think Abhinav, it's really good data for you to plan your session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Let me go back to slide. So Abhinav is going to lead us through the foundation of Success Dashboard as well as follow up with demo. Yeah. So I can see the rest of Abhinav. Carry on.
Thank you, Jitu. So let's start and deep dive into our session today. So whenever our customers buy ServiceNow, one of the key questions that they ask us is how can they understand what's the value of ServiceNow implementation and how can they improve the value that they are getting? Now, these questions are majorly asked by the leadership who has sponsored or who has driven the ServiceNow implementation at their organization. And the other one is the process owners who have defined the processes around ITSM or HR, any of the business line that or the product line that our customers have purchased. Now, if we look at what each of these persona is looking at from when they talk about value, so the leadership or the IT leadership here, they really wants to understand what's the level of value that they're getting out of the automation that they're running via the ServiceNow platform. While this value, the overall value is important to them, they would also like to understand how is that value built up of? What's the contributing constituent aspects of it? And this gauging of a value is very important for them to maximize maximize the benefits out of ServiceNow implementation. Now, for process owner, as they are in thick of things always, and they are interacting with ServiceNow platform day in and day out, their need is a bit more detailed, where they would, while looking at the value, they would also like to understand what can they change, how can they bring in the improvements and maximize the value. And to do that, they need a capability where they can go deeper into the session, deeper into the transactions, and understand how and what is contributing to the value. Now, earlier, we didn't have a product which cut across different product lines or engagement channels to look at the overall value of ServiceNow. But with Success Dashboard, that's what we are offering for our customers. And so let's jump into a quick overview of what our solution looks like, what our application looks like. So Success Dashboard is a prescriptive format, a prescriptive list of KPIs on a dashboard, which will help you gauge value. Now, why prescriptive? So that you can depend upon ServiceNow to define those KPIs, which you need to measure, which you need to track, and then improve it continually. Now, one aspect that we have kept in mind is, though it's prescriptive, we have tried to keep it as configurable as possible to your needs, because we understand each of your business processes would have been set up differently. And while we are providing the KPIs as out-of-the-box capability, we also are providing a way for you to drill down to the transaction details. And this helps in bringing the transparency and defensibility whenever you report out the numbers or whenever you take a decision, so that you are taking a data-driven decisions always. Now, just to lay out how we have laid out our dashboards from a KPI point of view. So we have laid it in 3 levels, where we have the overarching value, which is value indicators, which is your success metrics. And these are the top level primary indicators. Now, this is prescriptive, which is defined by ServiceNow. And then there is constituent primary indicators. These are the KPIs or indicators which are product specific and is contributing to the top level success metrics. And then comes the final, the leaf node of these KPIs, which is the contributing indicators, where whatever the KPI that is collecting the data in the background, these are the transaction that builds up the overall value. So, and one thing that I would like to add is contributing indicators are configurable. And when I say configurable, these are the indicators which you can add depending upon your organization's need, or you can edit the PA indicator that's associated, or if that particular KPI does not apply to you, you can deactivate that. So that's a quick overview on how we have laid out our KPI. Now, a dashboard is as good as the list of or the KPIs that it holds and the success metrics which it holds. So on Success Dashboard, we are measuring success on 2 parameters. One is performance. Now, when we talk about performance, this is where we are gauging whether the ServiceNow product capabilities, the application that you're using, how well they are helping your organization. And how well they are helping your organization in the terms that is it improving the productivity of your agents, or is it reducing the impacts on the requester? And then we have the second one, which is the service quality, which is where we are tracking what's the quality of services that is provided by the service organization to your employees. So we'll just quickly take a look at the performance overview KPIs, and I'll just define them while I go. So sell-sort. Now, this is a KPI where we are tracking all those times that the requester was able to get the resolution of their issues or get their full requests fulfilled by themselves. So when I say that, that means in this scenario, the requester is not involving any of the agents to get their needs fulfilled. And again, as I was speaking earlier, this is one of the product that cuts across the different application and the channels. And that's what we are trying to convey here, which is self-solve can be achieved through multiple channels. For example, the virtual agent, the portal, as well as the knowledge base articles that we have on that can be viewed either on the mobile or on the portal. And in the green are the KPIs that we have laid out, which we are shipping out of the box. And this is the one that is configurable, the green ones, like we saw earlier in the slide. Now that's about self-solve. Now, if you look at call deflection, this is all the times that the requester was able to submit the ticket, be it an incident, be it a request, without engaging the tier 1 agent, without needing to call them up and to get the ticket created. And these are the places where capabilities like catalog submission, virtual agent, as well as the deflections from VA and KB is also considered. The next one that we have is the structured tickets that was completed. And these are all the times that the requester as well as agents are benefiting from the workflow behind the scenes of catalog item. And this is where we are tracking all those requested items that were closed successfully. And finally comes the productivity moments. And this is where we are tracking the productivity gains across the journey and the life cycle of a ticket, be it during the search experience of the requester or be it the routing of the ticket itself. And finally, how well we are servicing our agents, or how well we are helping our agents in fulfilling and helping them gain or helping them improve their productivity by concepts of playbook, attaching a KB, and in future, maybe churning out. So that's on how we are tracking the performance of ServiceNow. Then we have the quality of services. Now, along with providing the productivity gain and reducing the impact on the requester, ServiceNow application and product line, the platform in the whole, is intended to improve the quality of services that the service desk at your organization is providing the end users. And this is where we are tracking a very broad level of KPIs like customer satisfaction score, which is CSAT, mean time to resolve, breached SLA, and first assignment resolution. Now, on CSAT, if you're using products like Walkup, Virtual Agent, that the survey is also considering, or the score is also considering the survey sent out for individually these two products as well. Now, that was a very high level, quick overview of why we are building Success Dashboard, why we came up with Success Dashboard, what it is intended to do, and what do we have as the KPIs on it. Now, let me quickly walk you through a demo of what all can a process owner or a business leader can do with Success Dashboard. And meanwhile, Jeetu, if there are any questions, we can take them as well.
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, I don't see any question. So guys, you can utilize our chat box option, or you can type your question in the Q&A section. We're happy to answer your questions and clarifications.
So please put in your questions, and meanwhile, I can continue here. So whenever you land up in a ServiceNow instance, once the Success Dashboard is installed from store, you would be able to see an option to say where you can navigate to Success Dashboard. Now, this is where a leader or a process owner would be able to get an insight of what is currently happening with all these metrics and KPIs that we just saw. Now, let's say I select a period because I want to do a retrospective analysis on what the performance was like for each of this KPI for the last month. So I select the month of July, and then I can see that what's the trend line, what's the score for individually each of this KPI. Now, the first one is self-solved percentage. And as I explained, this is all the time that end user was able to fulfill their needs, be it an issue or a request by themselves without engaging an agent. And this in Success Dashboard, out of the box, we are considering 3 elements and 3 aspects to it. And let's say I would like to understand as a process owner, what's driving self-solve in my organization. So I can click on the view details, and I would be able to see how the self-solve breakdown is built up of, or how is it distributed across virtual agent capability, self-solve using knowledge, and the automated resolution framework. Now here, I just quickly go into, and let's say if you want to learn about this KPI, I just want to understand what does self-solve using virtual agent means. So on the right-hand panel, you would be able to see what does it mean. And this more information helps you to infer and understand the KPIs well, and also help in explainability of the KPIs that we are seeing. So for example, self-solve using virtual agent is whenever a requester engages with virtual agent and the virtual agent was able to fulfill the requester's need, and how we are tracking it. So in the background, the virtual agent capability has to be instrumented. This instrumentation is something that will help the system identify what was the extent that the virtual agent helped, and more importantly, whether the virtual agent was able to help the end user or not. So this is where we are seeing that there are 7,120 odd instances where the virtual agent was able to help the user. Now, I would like to see more about it. What are these 7,000 odd transactions like? Where are they coming from, right? So when we click on the individual record, we would be able to see the records here. I guess there's some issue, but I can show you in another one. So you as a process owner or a leader would be able to deep dive into the record level itself. And also, like I said earlier, it also gives a view into what is being considered as a source of the information that we are showing here. Now, just going through the next one, because this is again indicator where we are shipping out of the box instrumentation so that it helps you capture and collect the data that is required for you to understand this or understand the value from knowledge article. So self-solve using knowledge is all the times that a requester read the KB article and didn't need to create a ticket later on. Now, when we consider self-solve using knowledge, we are specifically looking at 2 activities here. One, which is user reading a knowledge article related to IT or HR. And then there were no tickets created in next 24 hours. So now this is where we are explaining it again. And if you see on the right-hand side, It just explains it that on how we are capturing it. And there's an out-of-the-box instrumentation that HR and ITSM is shipping that you can leverage and also configure. So let's say if you want to change a condition on the knowledge article to be considered, the users who are reading it, this is something that you can configure. And at the end of after the demo, I'll go into how you can configure those. Finally, we have automated resolution, and this is again wherever ServiceNow has or ServiceNow is driving benefits through its automated resolution frameworks. And the frameworks that we are considering out of the box are incident auto resolution, which is a VA-based capability. Then we have requests fulfilled automatically, which is all the requested items that was closed and is for a catalog item that is marked as fully automated. So that's that are these are the KPIs that we have on the first KPI. And from a bird's eye view, you would be able to go till the transaction ground level details and could understand what's driving success, what's driving value, and how you can pivot and course correct to improve the value received. I see there are a few questions.
There are a few questions, of course, to come. So one of the popular questions I'm getting is it part of ITMS Standard or ITSM Pro?
So this is part of ITSM Pro. Okay.
Yeah, good. The other question is it available in PDI as plugin?
Prasad, would you be able to elaborate what PDI
Yeah,
means?
so I just allowed you to speak, Prashad, if you want to unmute yourself and explain this.
I think I'm Prashant, not Prasad.
Oh, sorry, Prashad. Yeah. Oops, let me enable Prashad. Hey, Prashad.
Okay, so
Okay, no worries. We'll come back on this one. Probably we can carry on next question then, Abhinav. So these KPIs, especially the ITSM call deflection, is default out of the box or we need to configure them?
So everything that we see on this page, it's out of the box. The more than configuration, it's the instrumentation that we will lead well. And I'll talk about how to configure the instrumentation, because anything that we see over here is basically is collecting the data for the instrumented products. For example, I talked about knowledge article, virtual agent. So those are the two major instrumentation points that you need to take care of. And everything apart from that, be the KPI structure or the KPI rollup, everything is out of the box. And that's the reason that it's prescriptive in the nature that you just need to plug and play and then validate whether the KPI is collecting the right data for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Abhinav. Yeah, please carry on.
So the next one is call deflection percentage. And as I was telling you earlier, this is all the time that a requester was able to create a ticket, be it an incident or a request, without engaging or calling up a tier 1 agent. Now, similar to what we looked at on self-solve percentage, if I want to understand more about this KPI and how is it calculated, you can just flip it over, compare between two, and then on the right-hand side, you can find more details on call deflection percentage. And similar to any other KPI, you would have capability to go deeper into what's the distribution for call deflection between the three major elements, which is catalog ticket submission, VA ticket submission, and self-solve deflection. Now, catalog and VA ticket submissions are the easier ones, which is whenever a requester submitted an incident or a requested item, either using a catalog experience or a VA experience. But what do we mean by self-solve deflections? Now, in the first KPI, we talked about all the scenarios, all the time that the user was able to fulfill the needs without engaging with the agent. In this, that would mean that implicitly, when the user was able to fulfill their needs, that also resulted in a deflection of a call that would have been made to the service desk. And that's where all the self-solved deflection via virtual agent or knowledge article can also be considered as a contributor to call deflection. And again, the same level of details can be drilled down into, and you would be able to see the details of individually each of the KPIs on the dashboard. Now, we have few others like we were talking about. So for example, structured tickets completed is all the requested item fulfilled and has a workflow in the background, and thus leading into workflow-based efficiency at your organization. Finally, comes the productivity moment. And as this is the place where we are trying to track all across the life cycle of a ticket, from its initiation to its fulfillment, how different capabilities like NLU, predictive intelligence, walk-up, in future, Now Assist, or knowledge article, how are these helping and improving the productivity of our agents, or is improving the productivity of the employee at your organization. And this cuts across the productivity in search, routing, and fulfillment. Now, these were the few of the aspects that we have on performance overview. Now, whatever we saw was how well I or my organization is doing when we talk about ServiceNow implementation. The next aspect that we have heard from you all was to also understand what's the dollar value saved, what's the return that I'm getting as an organization when I'm using ServiceNow. So we have a cost savings feature that enables you to see what's the overall cost saved from these capabilities that we just looked at. And this is where you would be able to see what's the contribution of self-solved to that to the cost saved, call deflections, workflow-based efficiency, which is structured tickets, and the productivity movement. Now, again, we can drill down into individually each of the KPI. And on the right-hand side, for more details, you can click here and see that what's the overall cost saved across the board, and also how individually each of the persona group is being impacted. And this data over here is coming through the configuration that we are providing again out of the box, which is for each type of an indicator, what's the time saved for both the requester as well as the tier 1 support agents. And you would be able to deep dive into understanding what's the contribution from each of this area. For example, over here, self-solved using knowledge is 93K. Now, if it's 93K, what are those transactions? So I can look at that this 93K is because of 357 HR issues that were resolved using using knowledge, and 3,900 odd transactions where ITSM issues were solved using KP. And on the right-hand side, it's the breakdown for individually each one of them on how this roll-up is built. So this helps in the explainability and the defensibility aspect, where you know which transactions has led to the overall value that you were just seeing. Now, so one other thing that I talked about is this, our success dashboard being the one-stop shop across the board for ServiceNow to track value. And right now, we have IT and HR offering on how, just to deep dive into individually each of this area, or on how they are performing individually. versus the overall that we were just looking at. And depending upon your review period, you would be able to set the monthly, quarterly, or you can analyze the data monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Now, let me take you through the other aspect. Now, I understand what's the value that the different capability is providing us as an organization. I would also like how it's helping our agents, how it's helping in improving the quality of services offered. And for that, we can just navigate to service quality. And this is where we have customer satisfaction score, mean time to resolve breached SLA, and first assignment resolution. Now, I see that the customer satisfaction score is low, and this might be due to the reason that the mean time is higher than ever, and we're not performing as we were 2 to 3 months back. So, and I can just go into this and try to look at more insights and get more insights into what's happening behind the scenes. And on the right-hand side panel, which is the insight panel, this is where we have benchmarks insights, which gives an outside-in perspective on, for me as a process owner or leader, to compare my performance against my peers in the same across my peers who are using ServiceNow. And I see that it's 30.53 day as a benchmark. Though we are doing better internally, I'm not, or just looking at our performance, I'm not happy because it's 29 days. And this would mean that there's a high impact, high chance, the impact on the requester is high. And to just provide more background to it, I see there are 2 process insights that are related to it. And this has resulted in a average inefficiency of 1 month each. And this is because there are unexpected transitions and also incidents going directly to resolved and closed. So I might be able to look at the insights and also take the corrective action by going into the workbench and then looking at what are the improvements that I can bring in. Now, this process mining insights helps helps me as a process owner to understand what's the bottleneck in the processes that I've laid out for ITSM, and what is it and how is it that I can improve upon this. So I can look at what's the process map for this particular insight, and also look at the automation opportunities that I can bring in using virtual agent conversation at my organization. So this way, I am able to understand what's the level of mean time to resolve, also take a corrective action, right? And it's being launched right over here from Success Dashboard. Now, one other thing that I would like to touch upon is to set up our guidance for my organization on how, and to set up how we are performing as per the guidance set by, let's say, our leadership, or let's say by the benchmark scores that is available. So if you would like to set a target for any of this KPI, you can come here and you can set a new value, as I would like to be on a higher scale of 9. And we can say I would like to start tracking it from 1st of September. So this way, it helps in tracking the performance according to the guidance that we've set, and that's where the target setting could help you out. Now, we looked at a lot of features. Now, let me touch upon how you can get started with it. And before we do that, if there's any question, I'll be happy to take them now.
No question asked this time, Abhinav. There was one question earlier on a PDI. So PDI is about personal developer instance.
Yeah, Jitu. So my question was like these dashboards, right? Like it was mentioned like we can deploy it from the ServiceNow store. So my question is like, is it like available in our PDIs as a plugin?
So you need to request it from store, Prasad. So once you request it, the request for the plugin can be for any demo, sub-prod instance, as well as the prod instance.
Okay.
So probably I'll check on this one, Prashad. PDI is little different.
Yeah, correct. That's the reason why I was asking.
No, no worries. I just note down your question. Probably
Yeah.
I'll respond you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So no more question, Abhinav. Probably we can just continue. And guys, please feel free to ask question in the chat box or Q&A.
Yeah. So the dashboard that we looked at was something that is out of the box available. The configuration, the instrumentation, everything is available out of the box. But if there's any customization that you would like to do, any changes that you would like to make to the instrumentation, we have something which we call as Success Dashboard Admin Console, which will help you in getting started with the dashboard configuration, and also to look at what are the moving parts for the dashboard that we just looked at. So we have two offerings for Success Dashboard. One is for ITSM and the other one is for HR. And then there are the instrumentation that can be reviewed and can be customized depending upon your need. For example, let's say the knowledge deflection that we had, which is all the times that the user were helped by reading a knowledge article. If you'd like to learn more about it, you can just navigate to it and see what is the definition and what is it all about. What is it that you can customize? For example, in this scenario, you can customize what's the refresh window, which is the time to wait for an incident creation before confirming the knowledge reflection. Right? If you want to put additional condition on the knowledge article or virtual or the users. Now, to do that, you can click here and you would be able to see all the information that is available to it. And then you can edit. Let's say you want. So this is where you would be able to edit this. Let's say I don't want 1 day period, but let's say a 2 day period, I can update it. And that should be reflected back here. Similarly, if you want to put a condition on the user or on the knowledge article, you can click here and then add the required condition under here. So this is a simple way to understand what's the instrumentation that's collecting the data or that helps in collecting the data, as well as if there's any changes that you'd like to do. Now, there are a few other parts that we have tried to surface here. For example, what is it that we are considering as a virtual agent deflection? And what are those deflection patterns that would help you track whether the users were helped? So that's why, and again, you would be able to go into the virtual agent designer and add this deflection pattern so that you are tracking the right data across the virtual agent offering. Then what are the performance analytics or PA jobs that helps collect the data from these instrumented sources? So you would be able to look at across the board the KPI that we have as on what is it that is collecting the data on a daily basis or on an on-demand basis. Now, this was something around what are the different moving parts that helps, or what is in the background helps in collecting the data, as well as, let's say, surfacing them. But let's say you want to update a particular contributing indicator. So, and it's the ITSM related KPIs that you would like to customize. So we have provided a guided playbook kind of an experience where you would be able to go into the, you would be able to either add a new KPI or you can remove another, remove or edit another. So let me say in future, I'm using Now Assist capability. So I would like to add that. So I can go into selecting which primary indicator that I would like to edit and have it under. So I'm selecting productivity moments and that too under the fulfillment. And I would like to add an indicator. So I can then put in solutions. And I'll mark it complete. This sounds good. Let me put in one which we don't have it yet. So let's say I put in, let's say this is the one which is to be mapped. Once I'm hit mark complete, the system in the background would update how everything rolls up from this ground level up to the top level. And this will start getting surfaced on the success dashboard. Now we added this KPI on productivity moment. So the expectation would be that I see this under the productivity moment related productivity moment in fulfillment as an indicator. So this is where we can see it. Right now, there's no data that was collected, but this is how you can add a KPI, configure a KPI. Now, along with this, you would also be able to change or remove an indicator that you are not using, or for the capability that you're not using at your organization, or update depending upon if there's any customization that you have at for your implementation. Now, this was a quick overview of the of Success Dashboard. And in Success Dashboard, today we saw how Success Dashboard can help you gauge value across IT and HR implementation. And you would be able to get an outside-in perspective using benchmark insights. And also, how process mining insights would help you to understand the process bottlenecks and then course correct. We looked at how you as a process owner or a business leader could also understand what's the cost saved across the board from ServiceNow capabilities and how to get started with it. So this is what we covered for today. Now, I would like to take a pause if there's any questions.
No questions as of now, Abhinav. You're good.
So I have a question for you all. So we looked at a lot of KPIs and we looked at KPIs related to virtual agent, KB. We looked at requested item related KPIs, incident related KPIs. Amongst the ones that you looked at, which ones matters the most to you? Please feel free to answer it in chat. And also while you put in the KPIs that matter the most, is there any KPI that we've missed out on the dashboard? Is there anything that you would like to see, any KPI that you would like to see here? Because that's what your leadership or you as a process owner track. And this would help us in providing those capabilities maybe in future. So looking forward for you all to put in.
Yeah. So while people are responding over the chat, there's a question. KPIs relating to deflection matters the most. Okay, seems like a statement or comment.
So please feel free to put this in chat. This will help us understand what is it that is important to you at your organization, and also, like I said, whether this is something on a roadmap or we need to bring it in our roadmap. That will be of great help.
Yeah. So I think comment from Will P is as per Will, deflection KPIs really matters a lot. Absolutely, yes.
Anyone else would like to add something here? Okay. So we have time. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. And while you do so, I'll hand it back to Jeetu. Jeetu, back to you, and we can launch the poll.
Absolutely, absolutely. So since we know about Success Dashboard little better than 30 minutes back, so we would love to understand your feedback. So I'm gonna launch second poll just to understand what is your interest level. Are you going to try Success Dashboard on your instance near future? Yeah, I think we got a response from 50% audience. Appreciate if you can respond for the poll. Just give, say, 10 more seconds. Okay, let me end the poll. Yeah, so seems like definitely we have a good amount of yes. So we got a. So if you guys are really interested, do let us know further. So question number one, we have so many yes now. Absolutely, people they really want to learn more about Success Dashboard as part of second question, installing in their instance. Again, yes, 42% they responded yes. Good. Thank you so much, guys. Really helpful. With this, I hope you can see my desktop back. I would like to just let you know. So we have couple of important links already combined here as part of this presentation. So once you have this presentation out, probably you can refer those links and you can utilize them to learn more about Success Dashboard. Before I moving further, see if you have any question. I can see Q&A. Okay, so
And
go ahead, Abhinav.
there's one question on where to access this recording of the session. So
you will receive a link. So basically, when you sign up the event, you join the meeting. If you post 7 or 8 days, if you click over there, it will redirect you to the community site. So there you can access recordings as well as PPT. Yeah, so that's recording. There's another question. While we would love to use it, we don't have ITSM Pro at this point, so we cannot use it. Unfortunately, no. But I think better you can utilize those available links to understand more about the capability of Success Dashboard. And feel free to reach out to us if you have more questions. Me and Abhinav, we will love to engage with you further. And yes, you need Pro license to install in your instance. Okay. I think that's it pretty much from us. If there are more questions, then please ask question in the chat box or Q&A section. Otherwise, I think Abhinav, it was great session. Really enjoyed the demo. I'm sure we'll have the same kind of feedbacks. So guys, don't forget to share your feedback as part of survey. So once you complete this session today, you will have an option to respond on one of the survey. This survey is very helpful for us to prepare next time and improve our sessions day-to-day basis.
And everyone, I'm just putting in my and Jeetu's email ID.
Yes. Yes. I think I have already copied. So
Oh, okay.
there we go. So you can reach out to us in case of any question. If you want to know more about Success Dashboard, we're happy to engage with you to answer your questions or explore more. Good, awesome, good, nice feedback. Thanks, Keith. I hope you enjoyed. All right, I think thank you so much, guys. They're really helpful, a really great audience. Thanks, Abhinav.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care, everyone.